season 2 of SEE, a one of the signature shows or the core shows that are available on Apple TV Plus. It stars Jason Momoa and Alfred Woodard, and Dave Bautista actually joined the show for its sophomore season. And jumping into it very quickly, um, Queen Kane. She's wilding. I mentioned on the last check-in that, and I'm on like episode 5. I don't know if 6 is out there, or did I just watch 6? I think it's only 8 episodes per season. But Queen Kane is kind of the main antagonist. And I mentioned some parallels between Queen Kane and Cersei from Game of Thrones. And maybe she was a poor man's or a poor woman's version of Cersei. And, maybe we're seeing a bit of copycat. They say the NFL is a copycat league. Maybe TV is a copycat industry. No argument there. They saw how successful Game of Thrones was with Cersei. Go do that with another character. Is it too the questions that I asked? Is there some kind? And then I started thinking about it, and it's like, is the agenda here to like show some kind of Adam and Eve or Eve thing with a woman being in charge? I don't know. Like I can't figure out exactly what they're trying to do with C. Jason Momoa has somewhat kind of fallen to the background a little bit this season. But the major thing that's going on here is, in Game of Thrones, there was incest between Jaime and Cersei Lannister. And maybe even the whole Targaryen family or something. I can't remember. It's been a while. Here on C, it got a little gross. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, it's kind of cringe-worthy. It's interesting that they're taking this kind of that they've taken this angle in today's, what's quote unquote cancel culture. Long story short, Queen Kane has engaged in sexual relations with her nephew, Kofun. And I'm kind of asking myself, like, what have I signed up for here? One of the things that's driving her to become sexually involved with her teenage nephew, who she didn't know him for the first 17 years of his life. She was trying to kill him because he's sighted, and the rest of the world on C, the rest of the world is blind. And she wants to have a sighted child because at the crux of the story is the fact that there are a handful of individuals in the world with sight, and she's kind of changing her views on sighted people and would like to be at the forefront of bringing sight back to the world for various reasons. But it's happening anyway. So for all of the different kingdoms that are out there, or the provinces or the rulers that are out there, you might as well be ahead of it than to be blind, than to have a whole kingdom that's blind, and you're fighting against enemies who have embraced sight. So with Kofun and his sister Haniwa being the only two sighted people that we were aware of in season 1, with their father, Jerla Morel, who's no longer with us or with them on the show, she decides that, I'm going to have me a baby with sight. One thing that we learned in the first season was that Jerla Morel was involved with Queen Kane, but he ended up hitting it off with baby sis Magra, and that's the mother of Kofun and Haniwa. So I really was kind of getting a little frustrated with this second season, to be honest. I'm really not a big fan of the family drama shows where they constantly pit the family members against one another. Because I'm being really practical. I'm just like, why would these people continue to keep effing with one another? Like, when would your family member just do you wrong? It's a big ass world. Just, hey, she ain't about shit. She got a lot of ain't shitness about her. I'm going to go over here to this side of the world where it's less populated or whatever and go do my thing. But on these shows, they just pit the families against one another, and it's tons of backstabbing and manipulation, conniving, all that type of stuff. And I don't really have time for that unless it's really going somewhere. So Queen Kane is kind of the one that's doing most of the manipulation. The other thing that we learned on this season is that Dave Bautista plays Ito Voss, who is the brother of Baba Voss, played by Jason Momoa. Ito wants to kill Baba for killing their father. So you have family drama with the Voss family tree, and then over here with Princess Magra, her sister Queen Kane, and then her two kids, or Magra's two kids, Kofun and Haniwa. You got that family drama. Another interesting thing is here that they did was, because of a major lie, the biggest manipulation that Queen Kane has going was that she killed her own kingdom. She destroyed her own kingdom and killed all of its citizens at the end of season 1. Spoiler alert. She was pissed off. She couldn't keep the other elites. She couldn't keep them under her thumb. And so they were trying to overthrow her. So she got pissed off, killed them, and then she went into the power room or whatever at this dam that served as the foothold or stronghold for the kingdom. And she did something to set it off to where it overflooded the dam overflooded everything and washed away all the people. What's good? Miss TT, UK's world. So Queen Kane, her plan is to stay in power. She wants to have a sighted child. And so the simplest thinking is go sleep with a male who has sight. Since Jerla Morel spurned her love interest in him, go to the next one. So she did try to sleep with another one of Jerla Morel's kids who was out in the wilderness that came into play. Something happened. I think she ended up killing him. I don't remember who killed him. His name was Boots. Boots is gone. And then she had a miscarriage. If she was even pregnant, who knows as much as she lies. So anyway, she felt the need that she needed to get pregnant again, and that, her major plan was for her to have a sighted baby to keep her in power. She thinks she's playing a long game, obviously. So what happens is immediately, and they telegraphed this on the show, but you saw once Kofun was brought in, she had sent out some soldiers to go get Kofun and Haniwa because Princess Magra came back into the fold with her. And the family got all split up with Jason Momoa, Kofun and Haniwa, and then Princess Magra. They all got split up. And so once the sisters were united, Queen Kane and Princess Magra, who we didn't know who was a princess until the end of last season, but once they reunited, in order to keep Magra happy, she was like, I'll send out a party to bring your kids here and your husband too. And so when the kids do get brought into this new kingdom that they've taken over, to this cat named this cat named Lord Harlan. He was one of the like the nearby cities that was feeding into the original kingdom that Queen Cain, the one that she washed away. She goes over and gets with Lord Harlan. Lord Harlan would like to secure his future and avoid being manipulated and killed by Queen Cain. He tries to get to marry her and to get involved with Queen Cain, but she's like, nah, I ain't interested in. You don't have sight. So she's like, but you can marry my sister, because she's basically trying to hide the fact that she killed her own kingdom, everybody in it, and she needs to find a way to maintain peace. Rumors start traveling that she was behind it, and it's threats of mutiny and whatnot, and people the citizens banding together to overthrow her. So anyway, the main thing that I'm all confused about and a little uncomfortable with, to be honest, is the fact that she starts seeking out her 18 to 19-year-old nephew, Kofun, to start seducing him and get impregnate, to get pregnant with the young man. And of course, Kofun, and the show has totally taken a spin, a drastic spin away from where it was going, with Kofun and Haniwa being intended to like return sight to the world. Jerla Morel had this phenomenal plan of educating Kofun and Haniwa with all of these books that were left behind, and this would be the way to restart civilization the right way. We've completely went away from that whole premise. So anyway, in like episode 3 or 4, Queen Cain starts creating alone time with young Kofun. And then I think in episode 5, she manually stimulates Kofun. It's not necessarily a family channel here, pay me no mind, but she manually stimulates the young man and blows his mind away. It didn't even look good on camera. Not that, I mean, that's going to be difficult to pull off anyway, but it didn't even look good on camera. And it's kind of downgraded the show for me, to be honest. This whole plot line or arc right here. So then, again, with Queen Cain, pulling all the buttons and making all the chess moves here, she sends her sister Magra off. Magra's second husband, Lord Harlan, and her current husband or original husband, Baba Voss. She sends them away to negotiate peace with Dave Bautista's Travantians, who are really like Sparta. They're like ruthless warriors. While that's going on, Queen Cain goes knocking on the door of young Kofun. Kofun has really been a disappointment in terms of just his character is just a wimp, basically. But she goes in the room and wants to do some kind of drug. She like peyote or some shit. She gets the young man high on something that's supposed to be banned in the kingdom, but Queen Cain has some. She get his brother some mushrooms or whatever, and he's all high and out of it. And next thing you know, she's leading him down into the bedroom, and they have sex. And so now I'm guessing she'll be pregnant, by her nephew. And at the same time, this whole peace treaty that was supposed to be negotiated with the Travantians, Queen Cain also sent some assassins there to kill some of the to kill people from the Travantians party and to spark off this war. So I think we only have, like I said, 1 or 2 episodes left in season 2. It's really gotten far away from where it was going, and when I was when my interest in the show started to peak, and now I'm just sitting here watching this cougar, seduce her nephew and try to have a baby that can see. At the same time, Queen Kane's most loyal servant was I can't even think of his name right now. I don't even think he showed up in the last episode. But she killed him at the end of season 1. She thought she did, which it was telegraphed too that he was going to show up. But he's trying to get together key people in the army. His name, I know his nickname is the Witch Finder. Tamakti June, I think is his name. He wasn't even in the last episode, but he's trying to reach out to his people, to see who's most loyal to him in his army, to go ahead and have a way to kill Queen Kane, since she tried to kill him. And then he also believes that Princess Magra should be the true leader of the kingdom, the Payan people, based on instructions that he may have been given to the king, the father of Queen Kane and Magra, who we never met. We didn't meet him. So, like I said, man, the story is kind of all over the place. It's not must-watch TV for me at this point. I don't hate it, but this whole situation with sitting here watching this aunt and this nephew get it on is just weird. I don't think it was crazy with Jaime and Cersei fooling around and getting it in on Game of Thrones. That was 2 adults. You kind of didn't, it kind of wasn't completely cringeworthy if you didn't think about it too much. But here with this woman having sex with her nephew for the express purpose of getting pregnant, to try to have a child with sight, it's just a little too much, to be honest. And then they got Kofun is playing a complete idiot. Despite last season kind of like challenging his sister, because the sister is kind of she acts off of her emotions. She's more into war and violence and looking to kill others. And Kofun was put out there as like the intellectual, like maybe you could put him in charge of people and a kingdom and whatnot, and he would work on rebuilding humanity or mankind or whatever. And Haniwa is kind of, she's more of the wild child, so to speak. So like I said, man, they've went and created all of this drama. The writers of the show, the creators of the show and whatnot, they've created all of this different drama, and I'm just kind of sitting here like looking like, what's the payoff? When are they gonna kill Queen Kane and get this shit over with? And then see what the next challenges is. I don't know if Dave Bautista is in for 1 season or 2 seasons or whatever. The one thing that I really liked about this, one of the few scenes that really stood out to me was, when Baba Voss gets back reunited with his wife, and he realized he's informed that his wife is now married to another dude. He's trying to play his part because he sees what's at stake here, but it gets to a point where he tells his wife, like, look, where we were with the alchemy people in season 1, he was like, I can protect you. I can protect the family. He's one of the best killers, that I've seen, the fighters and swordsmen and whatnot. He's unparalleled in that lane. But he's like, you got me over here with your sister, which I didn't know you were of royalty. But he's like, you got me over here with your sister and all of these politics and this playing this game and all this shit. He was like, I can't do nothing here with this. Let's get out here. Let's take our two kids, your two kids. Let's take them and leave and get back out into the woods and into the wilderness, and we can make it on our own. We don't have to be bothered with this shit. And I'm sitting here like, I'm with Baba Voss. Like, this shit is stupid. But of course, she feels obligated to help out the Payan people and rid them of her sister, she's impossible. She's the fact that she killed her own kingdom, everybody in it, while she had her soldiers, her army out in the wilderness for 17, 20 years or whatever, trying to track down, and that's what I'm saying. In season 1, Queen Cain wanted all sighted people. She called the sighted people witches and wanted them killed and exterminated. And now here it is, we get into season 2, and she totally goes against that and now has to convince a whole world that they're not witches anymore. We need to embrace them and move forward on a different accord with sight returning to the world. And I mean, it's just, if you think long term, I know you think you can like harness sight and control the people with sight, but you're gonna be at a disadvantage once there's too many people with sight. Like, who wouldn't overthrow the people who can't see? But what they try to say is the people the blind people actually are more attuned or are stronger and better off with using all of their other senses, their other 4 senses or whatever, because sight fools the person who can see. So the whole thing about, who's stronger in the land of the blind, who's stronger than I can't even remember the saying anymore, but the person that can see would be stronger than everybody. They try to like counter that with the fact that like Kofun is trying to learn how to sword fight. His instructor is kicking his ass easily. Like I said, Kofun is a disappointment as a character. So anyway, that's kind of it, man. This cougar has seduced her 17 and a half year old nephew so that she can get pregnant and hopefully have a sighted child so that she can do whatever she wants to do. I don't know, man. Like I said, the show kind of really got away from itself. Another thing that's kind of jumps out to you in the second season, they have a new intro song. And it almost kind of like signals a whole new start to everything that you watched and everything that we learned in the first season. And it's damn near like a reinvented show. And I didn't look into the writers or see if they switched showrunner. I really haven't gotten into it on that level to see what the behind the scenes stuff is and all of that, the creative team. But it's just like I'm here now with like 15 or 14 episodes that I've watched. I'll finish out season 2 to see where the hell this is going, besides this lady, manipulating this younger man. There was some uncomfortable or awkward conversations that they had after the dirty deed. I don't know, man. I'm just talking through this to see if anybody else is bothered by. Maybe some people were just like, the hell with it, I'm out. And maybe that's what I should do. But like I said, 13, 14 episodes in, I'm going to go ahead and see what the rest of it holds. So that's basically, second season of C up to like episode 5 or 6. It's only 8, like I said, each season. I don't know, man. Every show can't be great, so I think this one has just kind of lost itself and where it was trying to go, and we'll see what's going on. The morning show, also on Apple TV Plus, is now back in like its second or third episode. I'm gonna let that one get a little further down the road before I reconnect with it. I think the science fiction show, the sci-fi show on there, Foundation, I think is the name of it. That one might be up and running. I'm gonna check into that this weekend. Um, Yellowstone is on the way back, early November, I believe. So it's a couple of TV things. My schedule is, or my playlist is a little open right now with my television. But that's it, man. That's C. Apple TV Plus. About 2 or 3 episodes left for season 2's. Hey, like I always say, man, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Peace.